This is Texans TV.
We're unboxing some special cleats with Deshaun Watson.
My cause, my cleats. Deshaun Watson Foundation.
And we've got more than a game coming your way. Texans 360 starts now.
We are ready to rock. In his rock and roll touchdown.
Guess when you think you've seen it all, there's always something else.
Welcome in, friends. It's Texans 360. Once again, I'm your host, Deepi Sidhu. And you know what? It's a busy month. It's a busy time of year. It's a busy, busy show because we have a lot to get to tonight. We've got some virtual cooking with Chris Shepard, the great Chris Shepard, and some Texans. We've got Deshaun Watson unboxing his very special cleats from last week's My Cause, My Cleats game. But first, the Texans, they're heading up to the Windy City to face the Bears. We've got John Harris with this week's Performance Report.
Time for the Performance Report brought to you by Hyundai. And it's time for our octo-annual trip to Chicago. And if you don't speak octo-annual, that means it's been 8 years since we've gone to Chicago. And if you remember, that 2012 game on Sunday night, both the Bears and the Texans were two of the better teams in the league. And the Texans won a hard-fought 13-6 game in the rain. And man, it was rough. Can the Texans do it again, minus the rain? Well, against the Bears offense, it might not be as difficult as it was years ago against Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall, an offense that could move the football very well. Mitchell Trubisky has struggled, but the Bears did put up 30 points last week against the Detroit Lions. David Montgomery is as tough a running back to bring down as the Texans might see all year. He's shorter, more compact, but he runs hard, tough. He has good vision. The Texans are really going to have to corral David Montgomery and find a way to cover Allen Robinson, who is one of the better receivers in the entire league, maybe one of the more underutilized receivers in the league. That said, the Bears have one of the least productive offenses in the NFL. Hopefully, that stays that way on Sunday at noon in Chicago. But the other side of the ball, that's where it gets a little scary. And it starts up front with a big fella, Akeem Hicks, who can wreck the game from the inside. And then on the outside, you have a guy that can wreck the game in Khalil Mack, one of the better edge rushers in the NFL since he came into the league in 2014. And then you have a ball hawk. Even though he hasn't produced as much in the turnover realm in 2020, Eddie Jackson at safety is one of the better players in the league. At all levels, the Bears are tremendous defensively. I don't think it's proven out statistically, but this defense can make life miserable for the Texans if it shows up to play. Now, the Bears started 5-1. It looked like they were going to be a playoff team, no doubt. One of the top teams in the league and the number one team in the NFC after 6 weeks. 6 losses later, they are 5-7 and looking to gain a foothold, a lot like the Texans do. The weather could be down in the low 30s. It might be cold, but hopefully there's no rain and the Texans offense can get going as it has the last couple of weeks and go get a win at Chicago again 8 years later, or octo-annual years later.
Very much looking forward to that matchup and very much looking forward to seeing this next guy on the field, Brandon Cooks. He has really had some momentum-shifting plays this season for the Texans. I had a chance to sit down with them, get to know the Texans wide receiver a little bit better. It's the Deep Slant 101 presented by Xfinity. My guest this week, wide receiver Brandon Cooks. Brandon, welcome in. I haven't had a chance to actually have a one-on-one with you since you signed with the Texans, but just in looking at your numbers, you've had 4 1,000-yard seasons. You're pretty much on pace to hit that again in 2020 if all goes according to plan. How has it been for you with the Texans this first season?
Yeah, no, for me, not having that off season with Deshaun, I think, presented a challenge. And so that slow start was, not surprised about it. But I think now that we continue to build that rapport, week in and week out and getting better with one another, starting to see that connection continue to grow.
It seems like Archer is like a common theme with your social media, with your celebration. Yeah. So what's the celebration? What's the touchdown celebration about,
for me,
first of all?
Yeah, for me, it's just another way to give God glory. And my faith is everything to me. And so instead of the traditional crossing, your heart, I always wanted to come up with something unique. And I came across this verse, Psalm 144:6, and it stuck with me. And so that was just my way of being able to give God glory anytime I, do something special out there on the field.
You do landscape, portrait photography. When did all that begin? And how do you have time to keep up with
I know.
I tried photography for a little bit, and everything is collecting dust now. But
No
when
doubt.
did that all start?
It started about 2 years ago. While my mentor, went on a big trip together one time. He introduced me to travel. He's always traveled the world his whole life. And we traveled, but I didn't have a true camera on me. So I thought to myself, there's no way I can be going to these other countries without capturing some of these special moments. And so I really wanted to learn. And I got introduced to Leica. And from there on, I started to get mentored by some of their photographers. And I took it and ran with it. So the time comes really right when the off season starts, because that's when I can get my monthly traveling in. And then my wife and I, we travel a lot ever since. So that's when it all picked up.
It's been a lot of fun to watch you this season, but do you have a favorite catch or favorite moment from this season?
That's a good question. No, not really. Not really. I mean, they all been fun. You put me on the spot right there.
You had that
really
long touchdown. I was going to
catch.
say, I think a 57-yard touchdown might be on my.
All right, I'll take that.
I don't want to put an answer. I don't want to give you your answer.
No, yeah, I haven't thought about that, so I ain't got nothing for you there.
Well, you've got a few more games left, and so hopefully that moment is still yet to come. So best of luck for the rest of the season. Always a pleasure, Brandon.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Can't wait to see what Brandon Cooks has in store for us. And if you want to see the Texans and Cooks in person, there are 2 more home games left for the Houston Texans. You can just go to Ticketmaster.com/Texans. Get your tickets, come out to NRG, and watch these Texans play in the month of December. Well, Sesame Street, they've got a number of the day. We don't have Sesame Street or a number of the day, but we've got some very special numbers in this week's FedEx by the numbers. Take a look.
101. With his sack last Sunday of Phillip Rivers, J.J. Watt now has 101 in his career. He moved into 31st place on the NFL's all-time leaderboard, passing Cameron Wake, Hall of Famer Charles Haley, and former Houston Oiler William Fuller. 3. Only 3 Texans have ever tallied 100 or more receiving yards in their Houston debut. The latest, Chad Hansen, who pulled in 5 passes for 101 yards against the Colts. Kiki QT did it against the Colts in Week 4 of 2018, and Nate Washington also had 100-plus receiving yards in 2015. 17. Deshaun Watson rushed for his 17th career touchdown on Sunday, and that moved him into 3rd place on the franchise's all-time list. Dominic Davis, now known as Dominic Williams, is 2nd with 23 running scores, while Arian Foster leads the way with 54 all-time. I'm Mark Vandermeer, and this is By the Numbers, presented by FedEx.
Next, we go behind enemy sidelines with the Chicago Bears. That's next on Texans 360.
We've been a season ticket holder since 2012.
I love the fans that we've met along the way. I like participating in tailgating, getting to know the season ticket holders around us, traveling to other countries.
And we've been to London and we've been to Mexico City. Oh, I believe we have the biggest tailgate in the NFL and the best. You know, we've been to other cities but there's nothing like Texas barbecue.
It's literally the game before the game. It's where you get all pumped up, ready for game day experience, and you're just all about the Texans. You're meeting friends and making new friends that morning before the game. And once you go in, I mean, you have the Texan spirit inside you.
Welcome back to Texans 360. We gave you some numbers a little bit earlier on, but let's take a deeper look at this Chicago Bears team that the Texans are getting ready to face. I had a chance to catch up, as I always do, behind enemy sidelines this week. I chatted with Adam Johns. He covers the Bears for The Athletic. Here's what he had to say about the 2020 Bears. Welcome into Enemy Sidelines, presented by Microsoft Teams. My guest this week, Chicago Bears beat reporter Adam Johns. He covers the Bears for The Athletic up in Chicago. Welcome in, Adam. It's great to have you. I know it's not the season either of these two teams wanted, nor the seasons that we wanted to cover this year, but here we are in December. So let's talk about these Bears, shall we? Because 5-1 to start the season, and now they're in the midst of a 6-game losing skid. I mean, what's the attitude like in Chicago, and what's that roller coaster been like?
I think we all expected some offensive struggles this season, but at least recently it's been the defensive decline, the lack of production from Khalil Mack and Eddie Jackson, the superstars of this team. That's been really frustrating for the organization right now. 2 very bad losses against the Lions and Packers, especially on defense.
That pass rush led by Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks and Robert Quinn, they've struggled in the past 2 games, but was there something different in that 5-1 stretch where they were playing so well? I mean, what seemed to have changed over the course of the season for them?
Yeah, it's quite the mystery because they've invested so much money in this defense. This is where the team is built. Like, this is supposed to be their strength. Khalil Mack is a superstar, one of the best defenders in the league, but his numbers just aren't there.
All right, I want to ask you about inside linebacker Roquan Smith. He's actually part of our Next Gen stat presented by AWS. He's top 5 in the league amongst tacklers. He has 110 heading into week 14. So just a top 10 draft pick a few years ago. How does his presence affect the middle of that defense, and what does he bring?
Yeah, Deepi, this is the feel-good story this year for the Bears. This is a player who had some questions about his first 2 years, trying to find his way in the NFL. Did he look lost at times? This year, he's been one of the Bears' best defenders. He's taken over the play calls in the middle of the defense. He's on the field for every single play in every single game. He's been good, too. A lot of tackles for loss, a lot of impact plays. He's had some sacks, too. He's all over the field.
What does Trubisky offer the offense, maybe that Foles doesn't?
Well, Matt Nagy called that Lions loss the best game by far. That's by far for the offense. So that's a significant statement considering he benched Trubisky all the way back in week 3, and he stuck with Nick Foles for that long, for 7 starts that weren't very good for Foles whatsoever. So he brings a little bit more in terms of athleticism. The offense does look different in terms of play calls, in terms of getting him on the move, doing things more with his feet. The run game is a bit different too. That's been productive. Yeah, I think right now the storyline in Chicago with this game, especially with Trubisky getting it at this start, it's what we all wanted. It's Mr. Trubisky versus Deshaun Watson, because we know that's a big storyline here in Chicago.
Adam, thank you so much for the time. Always a pleasure. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Happy to help.
Coming up, we've got more than a game. Stay tuned for Texans 360.
I want to welcome everybody to the Rising Up virtual cooking class. Chef Chris Shepard is going to teach us step by step. Justin Reed, come on in the building. Tight end, Darren Fells.
We're basically going to take you through Georgia James tonight, a little steakhouse dinner at your own house.
This one looks good. I was kind of chipping away at a little bit of ingredients, man. It all tastes really good.
Man! Oh, I like it. You're good. It's just a beautiful sight.
Call me Trap, baby. Hold on.
Yeah.
This was the first steak I've ever done, man. This was cool.
Yes!
I had a blast.
Yes!
I had a blast doing this, man. I learned a lot. Man, you guys are geniuses, bro, the way y'all handled tonight, man.
Go Texans.
Yeah. Go Texans.
I don't know about you, but I definitely want to see some more cooking series with players, and definitely with the great Chris Shepard. That makes me so hungry. Better yet, maybe they could just cook and serve me the food, because then I don't actually have to do the work. All right, you know what else I love besides talking about cooking and actually eating the food? Is our series More Than a Game. It's great stuff. The Houston Texans are out and about in the community all the time. This series really showcases some of the local high schools and what the Texans are doing. And on this episode, we uncover a little story about the Battle of the Bands.
If I had one word to describe the Conroe Tiger Band, it would be legendary.
One word to describe the Willow Ridge Band program is resilience. My name is Bobby Heathcock, and I am Director of Bands here at Conroe High School. The first thing that comes to mind about the Conroe Band is that it's powerful. We have a color guard section, we have the drum major section, obviously the brass section and the woodwind section, the drum line, and a percussion front ensemble section where all the special sound effects happen. We're very contemporary. We're of the Drum Corps International style, Bands of America style.
My name is Sybil James, and I'm the Director of Bands here at Willow Ridge High School. There is no other band in Houston that has the spirit that Willow Ridge High School Band has. We dance, we play, we've been the heartbeat of our school for so many years, and we continue to strive to be that every single day. The kids have fun. They enjoy representing their school and their community. Our band is made up of brass, woodwind, and percussion, and each section adds a special ingredient to the sound that you hear on Friday nights.
What makes the Friday Night Lights special is high school bands and the cheerleaders and the drill teams, the mascots, everybody coming together to unite their community on a Friday night and put their best foot forward so that everybody can see what their children are all about from their community.
On a Friday night, there's things that everybody just expects from us. You know, from the minute the team runs out, you know, we have a unique way of bringing them onto the field. And, you know, the minute that happens, you could see the stadium just kind of transform, and it's all about, you know, Mighty Eagle football. And you know, we're the soundtrack for that. And as the game progresses, it just gets better and better. You know, it makes a difference, you know, and a lot of schools don't have that unity amongst their athletics department and the band program, but, you know, we're a package deal. We're all a family, and we support each other in everything we do. And I think that's what makes Friday night so special.
Check out Deshaun Watson's reaction when he unboxes his custom cleats. That's all coming up on Texans 360.
Hello there, Texans fans. My name's Drew Dougherty of Texans TV, and we are excited because we're playing a great game that is sweeping the nation. It's called Guess That Gift Challenge, and it's presented by our good friends at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Here we go. That first gift. Toro, hold it on up. Fellas, let's start with you, Dylan. What do you think it is?
I'll just say a pair of shoes to get the things rolling.
A deck or 20 of cards in a box.
So 40 decks of cards.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter because each of you guessed incorrectly. It was a football.
Football. Half point, Dylan. Got it.
Toro, let's move on to the second gift. Let's see what we got, my friend.
Oh, a tennis racket.
The guy can play football, all right? But that is about it. Oh, my charity's going to win this one. This one's a skateboard.
All right, Toro, can you unwrap this? Let us see what it is.
Oh, my gosh. I was way off.
Oh.
I mean, like I said, he's really good at football.
The winner, none other than the great Dylan Cole. Congratulations, Dylan. You are the champion today. Look at the celebration there. Yeah, you're having Tyrell just not all that happy with it. And because you are the winner, the good boys and girls over at Provision Academy are going to benefit from those toys. They're getting all sorts of fun stuff from Academy Sports and Outdoors. Those items get donated much, much more as well. So congrats to them.
Absolutely. That was a win-win for me. You know, I get the BTA and we get to donate some toys. So that's definitely a win-win for me.
Let me tell you guys how messed up I was. At the beginning, I couldn't see anything because I was on my phone. I didn't know you could swipe over and see everybody because I couldn't see Toro.
One final segment of Texans 360. It's the holiday season. Nothing like getting you in the holiday season more than unwrapping presents and unwrapping special surprises. Deshaun Watson unwrapped his very special cleats. Take a look.
See what's going on. The money bell. Yes, sir, Ski. Woo. Saladin went crazy for these. Yes, sir. Appreciate that, Brody. My cause, my cleats. Deshaun Watson Foundation with Saladin, the collab. Yeah, man, Saladin. We met through my business manager, and I started becoming a big art fan. We kind of went through similar situations, and we just kind of started hanging out, talking with each other, and vibing, and we started, connecting, hung out, and that's how we really just kind of bond. And I was like, hey, bro, I just want you to freestyle it. It kind of went well with what he got going on with the money bear and the different colors, and same thing with me and for the young kids. So that's how we connected. Appreciate you, Saladin. And our foundation is impacting young kids, inspiring young kids that's passionate about their dreams, going into these communities, giving them new life, giving them new hope and everything. So that's my cause this year. It's really for the young kids of the communities that don't really have too much. And we want y'all to believe and inspire y'all. Get to the money. Yes, sir.
Very fun to see some special cleats for a very special quarterback and some very special fans. We want to thank you all for joining us. That's going to do it for Texans 360. To everyone that worked on this show, including Tyler Suddarth, and all of you out there watching, stay safe and go Texans.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to know when we post new content.